Today's date is May 5th. The time is approximately 2:54 p.m. This will be an interview of John Gorman. The interview is taking place at 135 Carswell Avenue in Daytona, the EVAC headquarters. The person conducting the interview is Special Agent Tim Kraft for the Department of Law Enforcement. And it'll be a reference to Daytona Beach case number 270042, an officer-involved shooting of Daytona Beach Police Department that occurred on April 28th of 2012. If you can for me, Mr. Gorman, can you raise your right hand? You solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay. As I discussed off tape, before we go on tape here, this is a voluntary statement. You're a witness to this incident that happened, or more importantly, to the actions that occurred after the actual shooting in your capacity as an EVAC employee. This statement is being given voluntarily. You're a witness. You're not the subject of this investigation. It is a criminal investigation. So that being said, understand that you're free to leave at any time you wish. What I'd like to do is just kind of ask you what your recollection is of that evening and what your actions and observations were that day, in your own words.
I was working on an evac ambulance, and we were sitting across the street at Volusia Mall. We were dispatched to a possible shooting. We arrived on scene. We were directed to the patient by Daytona Beach Police.
When you say did you have a partner that night?
I did.
Who was that partner?
Ryan Marshall.
Okay.
And Jim Slid.
So there were three of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I was in the back of the unit, so I didn't have a clear observation of where we were going or what we were going into.
Okay.
All I know is we were directed by Daytona Police into the scene, when we were directed to a female patient who was lying on the ground next to a vehicle.
Okay. So what happens then when we get to the what do you observe? Let me ask you. Let me back you up a little bit. You say you were in the back of the wagon, so you didn't really see a whole lot when you're pulling up or driving up. But what are your observations when you get out of the wagon there? What do you see?
When I exit the vehicle, I noticed my partner, Ryan Marshall. He's over there tending to the patient. I grab all of our equipment, and we go over to the patient and start treating the victim.
Okay. And who was the victim that you were working on in this case?
The female.
The female. Where was she located? Do you recall?
She was located right next to the passenger side of the vehicle.
Okay. Was she inside or outside of the car? Do you remember?
On my arrival, she was outside the vehicle.
Okay. So she was outside. And what was she on the ground, or how was she positioned when you?
She was laying on her back on the ground.
Okay. And was it your impression that did she have a gunshot wound at that time, or do you know?
My partner, Ryan Marshall, told me that she did have a gunshot wound to her flank or her back or the side of her chest.
Okay. Okay, so you start doing your procedures, your medical procedures on her. What else do you see at that time? Was it pretty much that was your job, your responsibility was that particular victim? Did you have any occasion to look around and see anybody else at the scene? Or
there were a few Daytona officers there with us, assisting us with what we needed and doing crowd control and preserving the scene.
Okay. So your responsibility was specific to the female shooting victim. That you
Correct.
didn't have any recollection of dealing with the male that was on the scene or anything else like that.
You're correct.
Do you remember? Can you describe the vehicle? Do you recall the vehicle that she was next to?
I do. I remember the vehicle being parked on the side of the road, off into the grass, angled off into the grass, and the door was propped open when I got there. And
which door?
The passenger door.
Okay.
Front seat passenger door was propped open, and it appeared to have shattered.
Okay. So the window on the passenger side, front, was shattered?
Correct.
Okay. Did you have any occasion, what happens after you start working on, how long do you think you're on the scene for? Can you recall?
I believe we looked it up, and it was somewhere between 7 and 10 minutes that we were on the scene.
Okay, so that was your sole responsibilities working on that victim,
Yes, sir.
and other than that, you have really nothing else to add to.
No, sir.
Okay. Do you recall seeing other police cars on the scene when you got there? Do you remember how the police cars might have been positioned?
I do remember seeing police cars, but I can't give an accurate description of where they were placed.
Okay. So would it be accurate to say the only information that you had is you're responding to a possible shooting? And where was this location at? Where did you respond to?
We were dispatched to the Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University campus.
Okay. Okay. All right, can I get a phone number just in case we need to get a hold of you
Sure.
after the fact? All right. That's your cell. And you don't recall the unit number that night, or do you recall the ambulance number?
Do not.
Okay.
I'm sure we can find that.
That's okay. It's not imperative. You just didn't ask. All right. The time is approximately 3 o'clock. This will conclude the interview.